And a tie hockey game, 2-2. Roberts to Keith Acton. Now ahead for Dirk Graham. He's open. He comes right in and then ran into the pads of Sotard, who covers up. And we'll have a face-off. This is the NHL on Spectrum Sports.
Motorcraft reveals the enemy of gas mileage, fuel-robbing friction in your engine. Motorcraft presents the Gas Saver, Motorcraft Super Premium Motor Oil. It fights friction so well, it can actually save you gas as you drive. Motorcraft Super Premium Motor Oil. It can save you gas. Motorcraft 10W40 Motor Oil, now at all 4 Holiday Plus locations. Motorcraft exceeds the need.
Keith Acton with a good pass here to Dirk Graham. A good hard pass, and Graham is in. Shakes off a check. Puts a good little move on here. Holds the puck, but the goaltender Sotard stays right with it, and he gets that puck frozen underneath his pad. Good effort by Dirk Graham on a fine pass from Keith Acton.
Well, there's a very familiar face missing from the Northstars bench tonight, and that is trainer Doc Rose, who is in Arizona to be at the bedside of his father, who is very seriously ill. So we extend our best wishes to the entire Rose family and hope for a speedy recovery. Mandich throwing a hard check into Bob Gainey as Steve Payne goes after the puck. It bounces at the side of the net. Payne knocked it away. It comes loose to Carbonneau, but he has to go after it. Roberts beat him to the puck. He spun around. There's no penalty. First period, that might have been a penalty. Payne deflects it out at center ice, and it's shot back in by Green. Now Roberts behind the net. It has been a very clean hockey game.
A lot of hitting and a lot of good effort out here, but very clean play.
Only 5 minor penalties and 2 10-minute misconducts. Here's Payne with a long shot, and that goes right out of play. We'll have a face-off.
Dan Mandich having a nice shift for the Northstars, being very effective, moving that puck out to Steve Payne on that play. We had 2 or 3 nice passes coming out of the zone as well. Some heavy pressure by this Montreal team as they forecheck, and it makes it pretty tough on this defenseman as we see Gordy Roberts fighting off Carbonneau. Carbonneau staying right with him, holds him a little bit, but there's no penalty. No penalty called there. Big Bob Gainey trying to get around Dan Mandich, and Mandich stays right with him and ties him up. Gainey is a strong player with good speed.
Early in the third period, 2-2 the score. Here's Kurt Giles, dishes it off with a shot by Marouk, and it was deflected right through. Dirk Graham getting that shot from the far point. And it's finally backhanded out by Naslund.
Great play by Kurt Giles to slide that puck over to Dirk Graham.
Now Graham at center ice, fires it ahead for Broughton, and a race for the puck with Robinson. Sotard clears it away. Mario Tremblay has trouble. He has to leave it for Robinson again. Puck back at center ice where Giles got his skate on it. His pass was deflected by Tremblay. Naslund has it, 2-on-1 Canadians. Naslund long shot, that deflects off of Richter and bounced wide. Now Cicerelli, a cross-ring pass looking for Graham into the Montreal zone. Cicerelli and Broughton set up. There's a centering pass. Redeflected shot to goal.
What a great play by that line. Dirk Graham over to Broughton to Cicerelli at the corner of the net, and a prettier goal you're not going to see. The fans love it. We mentioned how well Dirk Graham has fit in on this line. He came up the ice with good poise, held the puck, spotted Broughton on the far side, saw Cicerelli just drift by, and Broughton slides it over to Cicerelli at the corner of the net, and the goaltender had no chance. Cicerelli scores a lot of goals from that spot right there, but this is the play right here as Dirk Graham gets that pass over to Broughton, and he relays it over to Cicerelli.
Cicerelli out of the lineup for much of the season due to several different injuries. Picks up his 11th goal at 3:56, and the Northstars have the lead for the first time tonight, 3-2, as Bobby Smith shoots it in. Now Bob Rouse has it, trying to lob it out of the zone. It hit a body or two. Walter battles for it. It comes loose to Shervin, who headmans the puck too far for Acton, and the Canadians gain control. They pump it back in on Gilles Malache. He leaves it for Rouse, challenged by Walter, and the puck is deflected out of play. This is Northstars hockey on Spectrum Sports, but we'll hold it right here.
Bob Rouse and Walter going at it in the corner. Walter hit Rouse pretty hard after Rouse tried to clear that pass out. They turned around and took one look at one another, and off came the gloves. Two strong young players.
This Rouse is one of the players Gordy Roberts called the Bruise Brothers.
Well, a good wrestling match going on here. A number of little short rabbit punches, but more of a wrestling match.
Don't forget, Ron Foyt has that wireless microphone.
You had enough?
And he is right at the edge of that battle.
Okay, Ryan.
Close range,
That's
those
it.
two really working at it.
You had lots of time.
Bob Rouse, a
Break
strong
clean.
individual.
Break clean. Break clean, that's all.
Well, they finally break them up to the delight of the fans. This is Northstars Hockey on Spectrum Sports and the USA Network.
Now, at Rudy Luther's Toyota, you'll find the Toyota cargo van for 1985, a versatile combination of room, power, and economy. Its spacious interior capacity goes hand in hand with a compact, nimble size. The cargo van comes ready for business, or it can be easily converted to suit your special needs. Come see the Toyota cargo van today at Rudy Luther's Toyota on Highway 12 in Golden Valley. Whether your business is large or small, the cargo van can do the job for you.
Well, a wrestling match like that and those short little punches take an awful lot out of a player. Here we see the big check after the pass. A little bit high there, and Rouse takes exception to it. Speaks to him a little bit, and they go right at it. There we go.
Keith Acting ready for the face-off against Bobby Smith. And the Northstars control. Fighting majors to Walter and Rouse at 4:21. We're still 5 skaters aside. Here's Chelios. Pass intercepted by Shervin. And he backhands it in. Out Chelios again. Trying to play it ahead. Now Deblois at center. They say he's onside. He's checked by Valashek. Puck goes into the corner for Shervin. Now Berglund goes after it. He's met by Deblois. Berglund comes away with the puck. And he's hit on the far boards by Boisvert. And the Canadians regain control. Now throw it away to Berglund. Centering pass for Acton. In past the defense. Shot hit the crossbar. The red light is on, a goal.
What a play there. Bo Berglund faking the shot, giving it to Keith Acton, and there's one happy man right there. Some great passing by these Northstars here in this third period, and a perfect shot by Keith Acton. He comes to the bench and gets mobbed by his teammates.
Keith Acton has been in a long drought. He only had 1 goal in the previous 22 games.
Everybody in the rink thought Berglund was going to shoot the puck at the net, and he actually shot it at Keith Acton on the far side of the rink. And Acton walked right into him with a good high shot off the crossbar in the post, put it in.
His second goal of the night gives the Northstars a 2-goal lead. It's 4-2. Now Brian Bellows at center ice, and they flip it in. I'll tell you, that kind of razzle-dazzle offense has been missing from the Met Center for an awful long time. Bukestad throwing it high in the air. It comes down in the corner. Bellows throwing a check. The puck comes loose. Payne reaching forward. He spins Green around. And finally, Gainey got the puck. He flipped it back to center ice. Richter lobbing it in the air. It's knocked down, and the Northstars are offside.
Well, Bob Gainey, that great defensive specialist, working very hard out there. Keith Acton has a lot of respect for him.
There's Acton, who scored his 16th from Berglund in 5 minutes, as you take a look at it again.
See Berglund look over, spots Acton, and just rifles the pass over to him. But what a shot Acton makes here. Puck just goes straight up, goes in, and drops right on the line.
One happy dude.
It sure is.
Give you a quick recap on the previous goal. Cicerelli, his 11th from Broughton and Graham at 3:56, and now you're up to date. Here's Gordy Roberts. Northstars out shooting the Canadians now 23-20 as Mondu carries it back to his own line. Roberts breaks up a pass intended for Tremblay, and it's brought to center ice by Robinson, who shoots it into the corner. Naslund goes after it. He was checked very well by Richter. Bellows playing the puck around to the corner where Tremblay deflects it in front. A shot knocked down by Bellows. A scramble, a backhand by Mondu, and it dribbled wide. Now a quick pass to the blue line, and it got away from Robinson back to center ice. Robinson waits for the zone to clear, brings it in, got around Roberts. Then he's tripped up, no penalty, bounces it in front, and it's kicked wide, then comes in front for a shot, but the goal has come loose, and there is no goal.
Well, Larry Robinson quite frustrated. Some great effort by Larry Robinson right there. Can't get the puck behind Malage.
For USA local affiliates and our Spectrum Sports viewers, we'll pause with the score. Minnesota 4, Montreal 2.
Jerry Redding, President and Director of Research for Nexus Products Company.
Nature itself is the ultimate miracle. It is here that the Nexus products for the hair and skin came to be. Ask your hairstylist for the Nexus formulation best suited to your particular hair and skincare needs.
Look for the double X's of Nexus at the Barbers across from the Harmar Mall in Roseville and the Barbers in the Crystal Shopping Center in Crystal.
Nexus.
Larry Robinson with some great individual effort. Moves in, gets a shot, gets the puck again here after a big flurry, and can't get it behind the goaltender.
From the face-off, they play it back to the point for Curver's shot. It hit Neil Broughton. He quickly breaks out, fires it right onto the stick of Graham. Drop pass for Cicerelli. Looking for Broughton. A drop pass for Valashek, and the shot was deflected.
Dirk Graham right at the corner of the net, almost deflected that in.
Canadians try the lead pass out. It got through everybody. There's no icing. Valashek goes back for it with Bobby Smith right in after him, and he's knocked down. Now Smith with the puck, centering it for Deblois, and that one either was blocked by Merlache or went off the crossbar. Here's Giles shooting it around for Dirk Graham. 3-on-2 North Star breakout. Neil Broughton, now to Cicerelli, and the play is offside, and the fans are upset. But it was a good call.
Close call at that line. Jill Merlache with a big save down there. I believe the puck hit the handle of his goal stick. He feels pretty fortunate that that one didn't go in. Great centering pass here by Bobby Smith, and Debois gets a hard shot off. See that goal stick handle going up, and the puck ends up in the corner. Losh playing very strong goal for the North Stars here tonight.
12:48 left in the third period. Now Acton playing it back for Mandich, who drives it around. Sotard stops it behind the net. Shervin goes right in after it. Craig Ludwig has it. Leads it to Bob Gainey. Gainey from center ice, driving it in. The rebound is loose. It's kicked in front. Merlache the save, and he covers off. Carbonneau can't believe it.
Well, Montreal going for the net as that long shot came in by Gainey. Carbonneau driving forward, as was Nyland. Nyland, I believe, gets this rebound off of Merlache's pads in the skates here. Good effort by Nyland to get that puck, and it gets it over to Carbonneau. But Merlache is big once more for the North Stars. Tough rebound as Berglund's not able to handle Nyland, and Merlache comes up with that save on Carbonneau.
Well, Ludwig, his shot hit traffic. Shervin bangs it to center ice, tracks it down. Shervin hits the Montreal line, tried to flip it across for Berglund, but that failed to click. Now Bob Gainey has it at center. Gainey, a three-man Montreal break. He's met at the line by Mandich and hauled down into the corner. There'll be a Minnesota penalty here. With the score, Minnesota 4, Montreal 2. You're watching Spectrum Sports.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Hey, give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Oh, no, Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
It's a wild place.
Dan Mandich has pinned Bob Gainey a couple of times tonight, but Gainey gets that little jump on him there, and Mandich hauls him down. Once again, we had a Montreal player, Carbonneau, driving for that net, and he ended up on top of Merlache. They do that very well.
Ron Foyt again with his face-off.
Outside.
The draw to the corner for Richter, who's checked by Naslin. They jam up for it. It's kicked free behind the net. Back to Naslin. And Chris Chelios. He's being watched by Broughton. He centered it for Tremblay, and he's covered and slammed down by Richter.
Great play by Dave Richter, reacting very well to that pass.
Now Sotart leaves it for Chelios, who's chased out of there by Neil Broughton. 90 seconds on the Montreal power play. Naslin at center. To the North Star line, he ran into Giles, and that forced an offside.
Well, those are the things that go unnoticed on the stat sheet, but Kurt Giles with a good stand-up check at that blue line, forcing the play offside. Tremblay just a little eager there.
See his statistics in the power play department. He leads the Canadians with 13 power play goals. And I suppose if there was ever an unsung hero of a team, it might be Mario Tremblay.
Well, he's way ahead of his production of last year.
Back at center ice for Larry Robinson. Checked by Bukestad. Robinson, bothered now by Robertson, put down. Slammed up against the boards. Mondu got it. And quickly worked it to Tremblay. Back to Chelios. Montreal with a manpower advantage. Naslund circles away from Valashek. Out of Chelios into Naslund again. Centering pass for Mondu. Pad save. Rebound in the goal crease. And play is called. No goal.
Well, that's the Joe Malash that we all know and love as our goaltender here in Minnesota. He comes up with some big stops and very alertly turns around and covers that puck as it's lobbed over him. Montreal moving it around quite well. Naslund feeds it into the corner of the net. Mondu gets one shot, tries to lob it over Malash. He does right there, but Malash alertly covers up before the puck can trickle into the net.
He's had to reach behind quite a few times tonight.
Naslund moving the puck in, and Mondu at a difficult angle tries to pop it over. See Tremblay right at the corner of the net. He's got 24 goals this year, 10 ahead of last year's pace at this time.
Rotten backhands the puck all the way down. 55 seconds left in the Mandich penalty. 11 minutes left in regulation time. Here's a steal. Now Dirk Graham carries in. He's checked. He shoots, and a stick save by Sothart. Puck rebounds to the near boards where it's finally controlled by Chelios. Leading it a little bit too far for Bobby Smith, and this time Giles shoots it all the way down, and Sothart has to stop it again. Northstars changing penalty killers. Bukestad and Shervin are up front. Giles and Richter back on defense. They shoot it in. It bounced away from Malash. Then Richter was there to help him out. Knocked it away, and Bukestad clears.
Once again, Dave Richter playing real solid defense in his own zone, helping his goaltender out.
15 seconds on the power play, and Shervin came back to pick the pocket of Chelios. Now Naslund poking at it. It's up in front of the Northstars bench. No whistle yet. Time running on the Mandich penalty. And the Northstars clear it down as Mandich steps on. And the fans give the Northstar penalty killers a round of applause. Halfway point of the third period. Canadians shooting it into the corner. Naslund goes after it. It's knocked away by Valashek. Payne playing it ahead to Bellows. He's tied up from behind. Hangs onto the puck. Left it for Payne. Banking it off the boards for Acton. Acton with 2 goals tonight goes after it. Sothart plays it away. And on the battle along the boards, Bellows wrapped at it, but finally the Canadians clear. Richter cleared it. It hit Naslund and bounced back to Roberts. Now Payne in over the line for Bellows, but the play is offside. For the USA Network, this is Northstars hockey against the Canadians from the Met Center in Bloomington.
Tickets sold for tonight's game, 12,420. Great souls in the house, 5,900.
The Blackhawks will make their final regular season appearance here at the Met Center on March 6th. You can charge tickets for the game on American Express, Visa, or MasterCard by calling 853-9300. The Blackhawks are back. That should be a great game.
Well, they just gave the 5,000 some odd spectators that braved the weather here tonight to get here a thank you from the Northstars for showing up.
Well, there were over 12,000 tickets sold for this game, and because of the inclement weather, a brave 5,900 showed up for it. 59:01. Bodies in the seats for tonight's game. 5 skaters aside. Canadians carry the puck to center ice as Svoboda shoots it in. It's offside. And along with Dick Bramer, Wally Shaver, and Fred Barrett, this is Frank Mazzacco. We pass on a welcome to our regular Spectrum Sports viewers and a special hello to those of you watching on the USA Network.
There's Bob Rouse, who was involved in that fight with Walter. He's back out there after serving his time in the penalty box. He's played very well for this Northstar team here this year, seeing a lot of regular duty with Gord Roberts on defense.
On the draw, the Canadians control again. Trailing by 2 goals, you know they're going to open it up full throttle. Rouse goes back for the puck. Steered it away, but Carbonneau intercepts. He centers it. And that shot by McPhee never reached the net. Here's Nyland shooting. That sails right through. Ludwig keeps it in. It got away from Carbonneau. Now Rouse threw a check into Nyland, who tried to center. Nyland gets it again. He rolls it in front on a nice backhand pass. and the shot went wide. Now Gainey got it to Carbonneau. The puck bouncing around to Bukestad. Gainey takes it away again. The North Stars in a little trouble here. Gainey sends it back to the corner. Meloche came out to poke it away. Rouse has it. Finds Scott Bukestad. Now to Steve Payne with Brian Bellows at the Montreal line, and it bounced away from Bellows. Finally grabbed by Walter. He's checked. Payne goes after it, swept it over to Acton, and Acton will drop it back to the defense to regroup. Canadians change on the go. Giles trapped at his own line, flipped it ahead to Acton. Acton looking for Shervin. Instead he shoots, and Sodart makes the save. Walter playing it ahead. It got past McPhee, but he picked it up anyway. McPhee bothered now by Richter. He fires it in front. Acton intercepts on a knee. He sends it to Shervin. Shervin alone at the Montreal line and had the puck swept away as he came into the zone by Curvers. Now Shervin knocked it back in, and Rick Green goes after it. Under 8 minutes to go in the third period. Bobby Smith tied up by Bo Berglund. Smith pokes at it again. It came right back to Berglund, and he happily lifts it in towards the goal, and Sotart leaves it there for Curvers. Now the North Stars change, bringing the Neil Broughton line on. Lead pass for Smith, broken up by Broughton. His pass was banged away by Curvers, and Smith shoots it into the Minnesota end. Now Deblois goes after the puck. Roberts right after him, and he passes it right away to Neil Broughton. Three-man North Star break, 3-on-2. Cicerelli open. Got behind Sotart, rolls it in front, and it got away from Graham and the open net.
Pass just a little bit behind Dirk Graham.
Here's Smith with a long shot that was deflected wide. Now Rouse has Deblois tied up. Smith tries to roll it in front, he does, and it bounced through the goal crease. Roberts checks Smith, and Roberts clears. Swoboda at center ice. Got it to Robinson. He's being watched by Cicerelli. Now Swoboda again. Flipping it ahead off the stick of Deblois. Batted away by Richter, grabbed by Cicerelli. Cicerelli looking for a line change, couldn't cross the red center line to dump it in. Tremblay took it away. He's tied up by Giles. Richter cleared but not out. Graham pokes at it. Canadians batted back in. Now Richter plays it off the glass to get it all the way down. And will there be icing? No, they wave it off.
Some great effort here in the third period. Both teams changing on the fly.
6:20 left in regulation time. At center ice, Robinson pumping it into the zone. Tremblay goes after it. Mondo shoots. Stick save. Rebound to Naslund and a goal.
Well, Joe Meloche a little frustrated there. He came up with one big save, and the rebound came right back to Naslund. Naslund handling that puck on his backhand and firing a hard shot into the net. Makes it a 4-3 hockey game. A big goal for this Canadian team.
Naslund's second of the night.
Some hard work here. Gets the puck out to Mondu. His hard shot is stopped, and then the backhand comes out, and Meloche unable to get over there in time.
One of the few times Naslund has gone unchecked tonight.
Well, he's got an excellent shot. He's very quick, and he's really snapped off that backhand. Mondu with a big shot right there. Meloche having to make a big save, but the rebound came right out to the waiting Naslund.
Puck in the North Star zone. Here's Gilles Meloche. You see the score, a one-goal hockey game. Rouse backhands it to the line, but not out. It's finally poked ahead for Keith Acton. Now to Gord Shervin. It's knocked off his stick, but Acton kicks it into the corner. Carbonneau played it behind the net. Ludwig goes after it. He's tied up by Shervin. Carbonneau is there to play it to the line. It's intercepted by Berglund. Drop pass for Roberts, but it's tipped away from him. And a race for the puck. The Canadian player went down trying to draw the penalty, but no whistle.
Dave Newell really letting this game take its own course there. He felt the Montreal player went down a little too easily.
Now he wants Roberts to play it, and that puck is still loose. Gainey trying to dig it out. Gainey jammed against the boards by Roberts and Berglund. And finally, we get a whistle. For the USA Network, it's the North Stars and the Canadians from the Met Center in Bloomington.
Gord Roberts a little slow getting up in that corner. I think he's just plain worn out. Some hard work by the Montreal team forechecking. Great effort here as Broughton tears up ice. He gets the puck over to Cicerelli. He holds it very well, throws it out in front to Graham, and it's just a little bit behind Graham as Graham had the open net. Nice effort by that line once again. They've played very well tonight.
Commercial.
The Montreal goal to make it 4-3 was scored by Naslin, his 35th. From Tremblay and Mondu at 13:51. It's a career high 35 for Naslin. He had 29 as the previous career high last season. Now Valashek wrestles his man down. That's Naslin behind the net. He's seen a lot of ice time. Valashek goes after it. Tremblay closing in on him. Graham redirects it over to Broughton. It's a 3-on-2. Broughton back to Graham, and he fanned on the shot. Now Green has it. Cleared around on the boards, and it got away from Cicerelli. He throws a check, but the Canadians bring it in. Mondu, a drop for Tremblay in the slot. He's wrestled down by Cicerelli. It's poked free by Valashek and cleared by Broughton. Green and Graham go after it. Rick Green now to Tom Curvers. Curvers' pass went off his skate. Tremblay has it as the Canadians are in the middle of a change. Bobby Smith, bothered by Graham, he turns back. 4.5 minutes left in regulation time. There's Bobby Smith at center again. Smith drops it back for Deblois. He's open. Slap shot broken up by Roberts. He sends it to the side of the net, and they roll it through the goal crease again. Finally grabbed by Bob Rouse. Canadians with a little momentum here. The Northstars' scoring chances have come in spurts, but they've all been good chances. Now Bukestad knocked it away for a moment, but it's regained by Swoboda. Swoboda ran into Bellows. Smith throws it across for Robinson. Robinson plays it into the boards for Deblois. Back to Smith. He centers it. It's deflected to Robinson for a shot that hit traffic in front. And the puck is underneath Gordy Roberts.
Gordy Roberts with a big block, and Steve Payne just knocking the Montreal player flying out of there to let his teammate Gordy Roberts cover up. Bobby Smith with that big reach throwing the puck out, and it gets deflected around here a little bit. A big shot comes from the point. Roberts blocks it, and then Lucien Debois gets knocked flying by Steve Payne.
There's a look at Keith Acton, who has 2 goals tonight for the Northstars and appears to be quite hungry for the hat trick.
Well, it's very important that the Northstars continue to keep the pressure on Montreal and not let them just come down and get the puck in the Northstar zone. Montreal with some great forechecking, putting a lot of pressure on here late in the third period with a slight lead on shots, 30-27.
Well, the Northstars have elected this moment to call their timeout, perhaps to get a little regrouped defensively.
Well, I think they need to talk things over a little bit. Montreal really coming on here, carrying the play quite a bit. Perhaps they just want to get a little bit of a breather and make sure they have their key people ready for the last 3 minutes and 43 seconds of this game. Nyland talking to the referee Dave Newell. Nyland, one of the most penalized players in this league, if not the most penalized player in the league.
He is number 1, 268 minutes. And I don't believe he's been in the penalty box tonight. No, he hasn't.
Well, it's been a very clean hockey game.
On the left of your screen there is Don Beaupre, who has been out the last few games with a strained knee, and popular Willie Plett on the right. They're watching from the press box tonight, as is Harold Sneps of the Northstars, and a host of injury players, a list that has grown to 9 or 10. I say 9 or 10 because it depends on whether or not you want to count Terry Martin, who is also involved in that recent trade with Edmonton, but has yet to play for the Northstars. Now here's Shervin, a 2-on-1 Minnesota break. Shervin and Acton. Shervin centering it. Giles a shot, so tart to save.
Ludwig played that very well. He forced the puck wide and then made it stay there.
Lead pass for Mondu, too far. Giles will have to hurry after it. Gets to the puck first, but they've waved off the icing. Now Shervin fires it across. Bo Berglund has it, and he slides it into the zone. Craig Ludwig goes after it. Born in Rhinelander, makes his home in Eagle River, Wisconsin. Now the Canadians, Naslin, shoot it in. Under 3 minutes in regulation. Roberts ahead to Dirk Graham. Graham with a goal and an assist tonight. Got it to Cicerelli. Cicerelli throwing it in for Neil Broughton. He has 2 assists in the game. Broughton tied up by Robinson, comes away with a puck, fired it back to Rouse. Puck was on end, he has to drive it around. Graham tries to bang it in front, but that was broken up and taken away by Curvers. Curvers lead at center ice, knocked down by Cicerelli. They battle for the puck. Broughton playing it back into the Montreal zone.
Good back checking by Cicerelli, no icing.
Our Stars get a break there as Curvers' pass was deflected by Bellows. And finally, Payne drops it back for Valashek. Here's Robinson again. Got it to Bob Gainey. Gainey at the North Star line. A long shot wide. Well, Giles goes after it. He ties up with Boisvert. Canadians play it back to the point, but no one was home. And Robinson will have to wait for the zone to clear. Now 2 minutes left. Here's Bobby Smith. Flipped it in. He got around Valashek. Giles and Smith go after it. Giles with a solid body check. Payne is tied up by Boisvert. Puck still loose in the corner. Payne trying to get it around, but Robinson kept it alive for Montreal. A little shinny as the puck is still free. And Payne flipped it behind the net for Giles.
So important to win those battles along the boards.
And it's played out at center ice where Bukestad knocks it to the Canadian line. 2 men, 2-on-1. He centers for Payne. And Sodar has to make a save. Bukestad back to the blue line. Gordy Roberts with a shot. Screen shot stopped by Sodar. Robinson has lost his stick. It's centered for Bukestad. He fanned on it. Rouse waiting. Now to Bellows. 1:10 to play. As Payne goes after it on the far board, he sends it on goal, and Sotard a nice stop. Rebound is poked away. It's still bouncing. Bellows keeps it in. Sotard with his stick up in the air, waiting to go to the bench for an extra Canadian skater. Under a minute to go. Rouse and Tremblay collide for the puck. Naslin intercepts and centers it. A bouncing puck to Mondu, and it's batted away by Bellows. Now Roberts will try to clear it away. It's grabbed by Berglund.
Sotar's out.
6 Montreal skaters in an open net. Shervin going for the puck. He shoots. He fired it wide. Berglund poking at it. Chelios has it. 30 seconds to go. Centering pass. Oh, Acton looking for the hat trick. Fired it wide. The North Stars have to hope those 2 missed shots don't come back to haunt them. 20 seconds left. They throw it in for Gainey. 15 seconds in regulation time, with the North Stars ahead by a goal. Mondu centering, big save by Melange. 8 seconds left, a shot deflected. Melange the save, he holds on.
What action. Some great effort by this Montreal team, and equally good effort by Gilles Melange to keep that puck out of the net. North Stars missing 2 open nets. Bob Gainey with a deflection. With only 5 seconds left, what Melange was able to cover up. Some great effort as the Montreal team gets that puck in deep. They fight off check after check. There's one save there, point blank. Mondu getting that shot. And a deflection right in front of him by Bob Gainey. Gilles Melange comes up with the big stops when he has to.
While you look at it again, we'll remind you that our producer for tonight's game is Tom Meade Jr., directed by Tom McLaughlin, our technical director, Alan Butler.
Look at the traffic in front of Melange here as this puck comes in and it gets changed right there. The direction that puck gets changed. Melange is able to hold on. 5 seconds left. This has been perhaps the greatest hockey game that the North Stars have played in this rink this year. And at no better time. A very entertaining game.
Fred, I don't think that's an overstatement at all. They have played well. How many times do you see, though, those missed opportunities at an open net come back to haunt a team? If not for sure a goal, at least close like the Canadians had here.
Well, that's for sure. The Montreal team, you can't take anything away from them. They've had a very difficult day, and they've come up with an excellent hockey game here. If they do lose this game, it's certainly not because of lack of effort.
Well, here's one of those missed chances by Gord Shervin.
Shervin doesn't miss this one by much. It just skitters by the post. Well, here we go. 5 seconds with the face-off deep in the zone. It'll be Bobby Smith against Neil Broughton, 2 former teammates.
Right,
the
Bobby,
goal is
first.
empty. Sotar's out, so Montreal has 6 players in there.
Make it clean. He goes first.
On foot.
Second.
Setting the players as Bobby Smith looks back at Guy Carbonneau.
Hey, Bob. Down.
The draw to the North Stars. Here's Rouse in the corner. He's roughed up. A centering pass was batted away at the horn, and the North Stars win.
Well, it went right down to the last second. Melange having to make that big stop on the bad angle shot, and boy, he's a happy man. He's really come up with some great goaltending in these last 2 games, but I haven't seen him play much finer than he did here tonight. Great effort all around.
Well, the team rallies around Gilles Melange.
Dirk Graham with a very strong game as well. He's really fit in well on this line. with Cicerelli and Broughton, and Coach Sonmore's out on the ice to congratulate his team. Berglund has been coming on as well, so there's some positive signs for the Northstars.
Well, it's only the third time this year the Northstars have put together back-to-back victories.
Some of the young players playing very well. Bob Rouse and Dave Richter coming up with some good, strong defense in their own zone, and a good game by Keith Acton will be our guest.
All right, let's go to the PA system for tonight's 3 stars.
Tonight's number 3-star Minnesota defenseman Kurt Giles.
Giles having to run all the way down the runway to get on there. They were so happy they forgot about the stars.
Tonight's number 2-star Montreal wing Mats Naslund.
Can take nothing away from that selection.
And the number 1 star in tonight's game, Minnesota center Neil Broughton.
And it's been a long time since that man has been named the number 1 star of the game.
Well, he was skating and moving the puck the way Neil Broughton can, and when he does that, it makes things happen. That line played very well tonight. Pretty hard not to give Joe Meloche a star, though. He played exceptionally well in goal.
Well, he sure did. He was named the number 2 star in the victory Saturday against Detroit. And played equally well here tonight, perhaps even better. Take a look at the North Star dressing room and the Spectrum Sports 3-star selections. Broughton, Naslund, and Kurt Giles.
Sally, Bert, you busy tonight? Your loss. Debbie? Bert? Lori? Bert? Judy? Cindy? Kathy? Buffy?
When you have a lot of local calls to make, it's nice to have a Northwestern Bell card.
Hi, Mom. Bert. Bert.
Your Northwestern Bell card. Use it for local calls, too.
Goalies are born with great eyesight, something you need to stop 100-mile-an-hour slap shots. People with retinitis pigmentosa, RP, aren't so lucky. But the RP Foundation Fighting Blindness is working to prevent the tunnel vision and sight loss RP causes and help patients cope with this genetic eye disease. Call 800-638-2300 and support the RP Foundation Fighting Blindness. Preserving sight is one of the greatest saves you can make.
Some Spectrum Sports promotional gifts provided by the Rusty Scupper. Back at the Met Center in Bloomington, an exciting game, especially for the 5,900 plus who put up with the bad weather here and watched Minnesota pick up a 4-3 win. Just the first time in 1985 that the North Stars have been able to put together back-to-back wins, and as Frank mentioned before, just the third time this year. Keith Acton with 2 goals, and Keith, for whatever reason, it seems like you come up with some of your better games against your former team, the Canadiens. 2 goals tonight.
Well, I don't know about that. Certainly it's a nice victory for me, but our team needed it bad, and it's good for us, and hopefully, as you mentioned, we can win some games in a row before the playoffs.
It has been a tough season for Minnesota, and one characteristic that they have had this year is the fact that they've had one line going at one time or another, but now it seems as if more than one line is clicking at one time.
Well, that's true. You have to, for a winning team, you have to have balance, and we've had a lot of trouble scoring goals. I think we're about 70 behind as a team from our pace last year, and that's going to hurt us unless we can start scoring goals before the playoffs, but hopefully we can get some balance and get some goals from every line.
Gordy Roberts called them the Blues Brothers, or the Bruise Brothers, I guess. It seemed like, again, tonight it took a few heavy checks by Mandich and Richter to get the team awakened here tonight.
Well, that's true. They're a big part of our team. They're not going to score a lot of goals for us, but they're a real valuable part because they take the man, and when they hit people, it slows the other team down, and it gets us going.
Gordy suspected that perhaps in the third period, because of the crazy schedule Montreal has had, that they might be a little tired. Did you sense that out there tonight?
Well, I think when we got ahead, too, that deflated them a bit. They were skating pretty good at the start, I thought, but they've had a tough day, and they're a good hockey team, but we'll take it anyways.
Looking at the Norris division, you are tied right now with Detroit, although Detroit has the game in hand. You're playing to build up some confidence for the playoffs, I know, but how much would it mean for this team to finish in third place ahead of Detroit?
Well, we want to do that. Certainly, we want to win games, and if we're going to win games, we're going to move up in the standings. I think that, as I mentioned before, you can't turn it on and off, and certainly we have to win some games to gain some confidence in the areas of knowing that we can protect a lead to win a game, or we can come from behind to win hockey games, and you have to have that confidence going into playoffs. I think that we've lost a lot of games this year, but if we gain that confidence, we can look at a team like Montreal last season that lost 40 games during the regular season, and they almost beat the Islanders and went to the Stanley Cup Finals.
All right, you got 2 goals tonight. We'll take a look at those, and perhaps if you can remember them both, you'll be able to tell us exactly what happened.
Well, in this play, Bobby Rouse moved it into me, and I was open in front, and I just let a quick backhand goal that I think it caught the goalie a little off guard.
Second one was a bit prettier.
Well, it was a nice play by Bo Berglund. He gives me a great pass across here, and I had some speed, and I moved in on the goalie, and he was falling down, and I got it up top.
So confidence is a key, do you think, to this Minnesota team entering the playoffs?
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of players have lost their confidence, not only personally because of lack of scoring production, but we've lost confidence as a team. We haven't, as I said, when we get a lead, we can't hold on to it. When we get behind, we can't come back and win, and those are the things that we have to gain as a team before we'll be successful in the playoffs.
Well, to Montreal's credit, they made it very interesting down to the final seconds as they put on the pressure, but Minnesota ends up winning it 4-3 thanks to Keith Acton's 2 goals against his former teammates. We'll be back with more of our post-game show in a moment.
Buds for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
You could be 1985 Spectrum Sports Northstars Fan of the Year. Just vote for your favorite North Star. If your selection is number 1 in the balloting, you'll qualify and have a chance to win a trip for 2 via Republic Airlines to the Stanley Cup Finals. All entries qualify for 50 terrific bonus prizes. Send a postcard with your favorite North Star and your name and address to Spectrum Sports, 620 Taft Street Northeast, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55413. Republic Airlines knows what everyone in business wants out of life, perks. To get the perks you deserve, fly Republic.
5,901 showed up here at the Met Center, and they were very much entertained. An excellent hockey game by both teams, and the North Stars come away with the win 4-3 over the Montreal Canadiens, their 2nd win in a row, and it's nice to win these games on home ice because the North Stars have had problems winning at home.
Well, they certainly have, Dick. They've had a very tough time all season long at home. Right now they're getting the momentum, and I've always maintained in the game of hockey, if you can get hot the last 6 weeks of the season, that's really when you need to pick up the momentum, get the confidence that Keith Acton was talking about, and it's so important now. It's critical, and we're seeing the very, very positive signs we were always hoping to see.
He drew a very interesting comparison between the Minnesota team this year and the Montreal team last year, because Montreal did lose 40 games during the regular season last year, came up with a couple of big upsets in the playoffs. Here's how the North Division standings look right now. The North Stars pick up a couple of points, so in fact they are tied with Detroit, but again, Detroit has played 1 less game. Toronto now 10 points behind Minnesota, and it's good for the North Stars and their fans to see the difference between Minnesota and Toronto, and Detroit for that matter too, to get back up into the double figures.
But it also doesn't look like the North Stars are going to find a home ice advantage in that opening round. It would be very positive and wishful thinking for it to happen, but they're a long ways behind even Chicago right now. Right now they just, again, have to get hot, do what they have to do when they get into the playoffs, and maybe going on the road won't be that bad in the first 2 games.
All right, let's go upstairs and get Fred and Frank's thoughts on tonight's game.
All right, Dick, thanks very much. Before we look ahead at the schedule coming up for the North Stars, Fred, I'd like you to repeat what you just told me.
Well, I just said a lot of people look pretty good out there tonight, as good as we've seen them look all year, and in particular Gord Shervin and Bo Berglund, Keith Acton, they all played very well, and that's the type of hockey this team needs to play.
Blackhawks, who the North Stars will next face, picked up 3 points over the weekend against the St. Louis Blues, and from every indication, the Blackhawks are the Blackhawks of old. A lot of offense, and the North Stars beat them twice this coming week.
Well, since Bob Pulpert's taken over, Chicago's played very, very well, and you know, the North Stars need to win some of these big games to increase their confidence. This was a big win for them tonight, but you know, in the North Division teams, they've got three of them coming up, twice against Chicago, once against St. Louis. So if they can fare well there, it'll really increase their confidence level, and that's the type of thing they need to do as they go into this stretch drive.
2 consecutive strong games by goaltender Gilles Malache. A 2-goal game for Keith Acton. That's been a rarity for him this year, but he scored the 2, including the game winner, as the Northstars beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-3. Good night, everybody.
Well, they've met the last 3 years in the playoffs. Perhaps this will be the 4th year in a row Chicago and Minnesota square off in the playoffs. Chicago comes in for its final regular season appearance on Wednesday. We'll have all the action live on Spectrum Sports. Northstar Hockey on Spectrum Sports brought to you by Bud Light, the less-selling light beer with the first name in taste. By Nexus and the Barbers, nature and earth united with science. And by Rudy Luther, Toyota GMC, or Twin Cities Truck Headquarters.